Now at 5:30 on WKYT this morning, Kentucky lawmakers still have not reached an agreement on the state budget. We're live looking at where legislators go from here.
Looks like a stalemate in Frankfort. Also this morning on WKYT, presidential candidates looking ahead to the primary in New York. It's home turf for some of the candidates, and they're hoping that that will get them big wins. We're out on the campaign trail ahead.
And it looks like a Central Kentucky man's dream to see the ocean before he dies will come true. Mark Nestor's story ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Kentucky Morning start right here on WKYT. We're glad you're with us. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain. I hope everyone out there had a great weekend. How was your weekend, Bill?
Good one, you know, yeah, relaxing. And I know a lot of folks just kind of took time to turn it down a little bit on Saturday with all that cold weather. The numbers were down a little bit for attendance at Keeneland, but they were good on Friday for opening day.
And
so,
they should be great this week.
Yeah, it shows people are eager to get out there. Let's check in. Mike Linden's in for Micah this morning. Hello there.
Well, good morning, Bill. There's no racing at Keeneland today or tomorrow, and it looks like that is going to time up perfectly with what we expect later in the work week as far as your weather goes. Right now, though, it's a little wet, especially along northern Kentucky in the I-75 northbound corridor. Nothing that's really going to impact your morning commute all that much, but we are expecting more wet weather into our afternoon. Talk about a major warm-up, though, from where we were at this time yesterday. Most spots right now in the mid to high 50s. That's up by nearly 25 degrees in most spots across the board. How about Wayne County, though? 30 degrees of difference. And of course, it is a little windy right now with a passing front that moved in last night. That's shaking things up as we head into Monday afternoon. So wet, a little gusty for you this afternoon, but things are going to get a lot better after today. But coming up, I'll show you what today has in store for us. One more bump in the road before things get a whole lot better.
All right, we'll put up with that and look forward to those good days ahead. In the news this morning, as of this hour, Kentucky lawmakers have not agreed on a 2-year state budget for the Commonwealth.
Lawmakers met behind closed doors yesterday for hours discussing the budget till close to midnight. WKYT's Mark Barber is in Frankfort this morning covering our budget coverage. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Michelle. When lawmakers finally stepped out of their meetings late last night, they had reached some compromises, but they had also hit some new roadblocks. So this morning, the House and the Senate, they are still deadlocked over the budget. Now, lawmakers, they only have one more workday to reach a agreement on this budget before the legislative session ends, and their final workday is on the calendar for tomorrow. If lawmakers are going to avoid a costly special session, they have to pass a budget by Friday. In a statement released after midnight, House leaders said that the Senate walked away last night when they were trying to push their last workday back to Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday to give them more time to approve a budget. While House Democrats and Senate Republicans are still butting heads over the budget, there has been some progress. The governor scaled back his proposed 9% cuts for state colleges and universities to 4.5%. The House has finally agreed to those cuts. Now their disagreement revolves around how much money the state should put toward its more than $30 billion pension shortfall. So the big question again, can lawmakers overcome their differences and strike a deal in the next 5 days? Well, there is a lot on the line. A special session would cost taxpayers $65,000 a day, and a partial government shutdown would be triggered if there is still no budget by June 30th. While some lawmakers are still hopeful that they will pass a budget this week, others say they really are stuck in a stalemate. This morning, many are closely watching the Capitol, anxiously waiting to see what will happen here next. Live in Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
If you're heading to a show at Rupp Arena anytime soon, you'll see some changes when it comes to security.
New walk-through metal detectors have been installed there, and WKYT's Mike Byer is at our live desk with more on those changes and what folks will see. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Lines getting into Rupp Arena for upcoming events are expected to be longer, but for good reason. According to our partners at the Lexington Herald-Leader, the arena recently bought 30 walk-through detectors that will perform full body scans of people as they go into the more than 20,000-seat arena. The metal detectors will make their debut this Saturday for a concert featuring various Christian performers called Outcry. The move for the stand-up metal detectors was prompted by Live Nation, which requires the stepped-up security as part of its contract to bring artists to Rupp. A recent article from the Herald Leader says people will be asked to remove keys and cell phones from pockets. If the detector goes off, patrons will move to another area where security will perform a second scan with handheld wands. People won't be asked to walk back through the detectors if an alarm sounds. Organizers say this will help get people through the security lines faster and into the shows quicker. There will also be separate security lines for people in wheelchairs and with special needs. Now, Rupp Arena has already tested out the stand-up metal detectors during the recent NCAA men's or women's basketball tournament. During that time, officials say lines getting in were longer, but they say it's worth the safety of those attending events. At the live desk, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you very much. That's going to be a change, certainly, for a lot of folks. A local chapter of the that is the NAACP, is wanting charges against a Lexington teenager to be upgraded. A Lexington Catholic high school student is accused of harassing and threatening another student because of his race. He faces a misdemeanor charge right now, but the local chapter of the NAACP wants that to be a felony. They say they want the 17-year-old to understand that his behavior is not acceptable.
These are things that we don't want to bring a hammer down on children, but at the same time we have to make sure that they understand that that kind of behavior is not acceptable. The hate speech that is going on inside of our schools when kids are just trying to get an education.
Lexington Catholic released a statement saying, as an academic institution, we must learn from this experience, also saying they will become a more inclusive and welcoming community. The student who received the threatening messages is now attending a public school.
Lexington police are searching for a man this morning who they say robbed a store over the weekend. Police say a man walked into the Dollar General in Leestown around 9 yesterday morning and demanded cash. Police aren't sure if the man had a gun, but the clerk told them he didn't see a weapon. Police say the man did get away with some cash. Witnesses gave them a very limited description of the robber. Police are also still searching for the man who shot and killed a 28-year-old this weekend. Two people were standing outside the Woodland Studio Apartments off Woodland Avenue when officers say someone shot both of them. The Fayette County coroner says one of the men, James Gordon, died at the hospital. We do not have the name of the second victim. We're told he suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the man they're looking for is about 5'11" with a heavy build.
In Laurel County, deputies caught a man blue-footed. Deputies say 46-year-old Scotty Seeley was beating on the door of the home of John Deere Trail on John Deere Trail early Saturday morning. The homeowners say someone took things from their house and two outbuildings. They say the thief also spilled a box of pond dye and left behind some blue footprints. Deputies say those prints matched Seeley's greenish-blue dyed shoes. Deputies have charged him with burglary.
Governor Matt Bevin is expected to sign a bill this week that would give thousands of convicted felons the chance to clear their records. The bill allows people convicted of nonviolent felonies to ask a judge to vacate their judgments. Those felons have to wait 5 years after completing their sentences. At least 62,000 convicted felons in Kentucky will be able to take advantage of the law.
A lot of debate on that bill, which finally passed in this version that the governor is expected to sign. Well, a new poll is out this morning. It appears to spell trouble for Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. An Associated Press GFK poll finds more Americans think Hillary Clinton would, quote, make America great again than Trump, who coined the phrase. 33% say that Clinton would do better at that, 28% for Trump.
Yeah, now with the next primary just 8 days away, candidates on both sides of the aisle have their sights set on New York. Brian Webb continues our campaign coverage.
Donald Trump says there's something wrong with the way Republicans choose their presidential nominee.
We've got a corrupt system. It's not right. We're supposed to be a democracy.
Trump's campaign says Ted Cruz is using underhanded methods to pick up delegates loyal to the Texas senator. Cruz's campaign calls the accusations lies. He says he will be ready for a contested convention.
You know, it's easy to talk about making America great again. But the real question is, do you understand the principles and values that made America great in the first place?
Trump and Hillary Clinton both have double-digit leads in the polls in New York. Clinton went to several churches Sunday before campaigning in Baltimore, where she slammed Sanders' record on gun control.
He voted to make it more difficult to shut down gun dealers who sold guns that ended up in criminals' hands.
Bernie Sanders visited Brooklyn's famed Coney Island. He's no longer questioning Clinton's qualifications, just her judgment.
A candidate who voted for the war in Iraq, a candidate who voted for virtually every disastrous trade policy, which have cost us millions of jobs.
The New York primary is April 19th. Brian Webb for CBS News, New York.
Now, all the candidates except Ted Cruz will campaign in New York today. Cruz will hold 2 rallies in California.
In Johnson County, friends and family are mourning the loss of a teenager. 15-year-old Luke Caudle died in Paintsville Lake on Friday. Police say he and some friends were walking on the edge when he fell in and drowned. Caudle was a freshman at Johnson Central High School. He was also a quarterback for the school's football team. His coach and teammates say Caudle had a promising future in football. A Central Kentucky man's dream is to see the ocean before he dies. Mark Nestor lives in Powell County, and he says he has terminal throat cancer. Doctors have given him 3 to 4 months to live. Nestor wants to see the ocean, and a former college instructor of Nestor's is raising money to help make that dream come true.
I started the GoFundMe account. He knew nothing about it, and I started it because I knew that it had already been stated that he wanted to go to the ocean.
It's really touching that I've touched so many lives too. I've been an inspiration to a lot of people. I would never dream this would happen.
Last check, Maynard and Nestor have well surpassed their goal of $2,000 for the trip. We have a link to that GoFundMe page on our website if you would like to take part at WKYT.com and on our WKYT News app. You can download that one, by the way, for free in the app or Google Play stores. It's time to check live drive traffic this morning, see what is happening at 5:42. And here is a look outside right now with lots of green. You're good to go in most of central Kentucky right now. No reports of any problems or delays early. We anticipate heavier traffic, of course, in the next hour as things start to pick up on a Monday, you know. Get it going.
But if you're headed out the door, it's looking good so far.
Right. And there's a lot more news coming up for you on WKYT. Hope you'll stay with us.
Being stood up is a terrible feeling on any given day, but especially on your birthday. We'll take a look at how some total strangers helped an Indiana boy celebrate his special day. That's ahead after Mike's forecast.
Overcast right now, a little wet for some Kentucky spots, but once we get past this evening, things look a lot better for the days ahead. I'll show you what we have to look forward to for the week ahead and this afternoon coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Mike Linden.
Getting started on a Monday with some active weather. Our live sky camera bouncing in the breeze right now as some gusty winds blow through the bluegrass. Things are transitioning toward looking a lot better into the second half of the work week, but we still have to get through Monday, where right now we are seeing some wet weather. It's only for an isolated area of the state right now, as pretty much as far north as you can go before you hit Cincinnati. Things are a little wet in the Covington area and along the I-75 northbound corridor, but nothing that really is going to impact your morning commute all that much. The big picture is that we are in between two frontal systems. A warm front that blew through last night, bringing us the warm temperatures we're feeling this morning, and a cold front behind that's going to shake things up a little bit as we head into our afternoon today. But that warm front has just opened us up to south and southwesterly flowing winds, which has really given our temperatures a nice bump up. Most spots right now in the mid-50s. And to put things into perspective, this is warmer than where we were Saturday afternoon. I mean, it's not even 6 o'clock in the morning yet, and we're already warmer than where we were both Friday and Saturday. And that's up by a large amount just in 24 hours, up by nearly 20 to near 30 degrees of difference in a few spots out there. Rowan County, 29, Wayne County, 30 degrees. That just goes to show you that when you get out of that northwesterly flowing wind and you get into the south and southwest, how big of an impact that can have. Now, as we get into our afternoon today, we'll pretty much wrap up the showers to our north. But that's when that cold front to our west gets here. This is around 2, 3 o'clock today. You'll start to see some showers advancing over the Jefferson County area as high temperatures hit the upper 60s. And as that front moves in close to 3 o'clock, that's when things begin to get a little more organized. The showers become a little heavier, a little bit more widespread, and the chance for thunderstorms gets here with the peak heating of the day as we get close to 5, 6 o'clock. Into the evening hours, look at this very well-defined line of thunderstorms tracking eastward across the bluegrass as we get into the evening hours. And of course, behind this front, things cool down at least for one more day, back into the 30s for your Tuesday. But that looks to be about it as far as active weather goes. Things are going to get a lot better here in the next couple of days. So an early chance for some showers tomorrow morning. But once we get past Tuesday, it looks like a whole lot of sunshine and warm temperatures, especially by next weekend. So if you've yet to go out to Keeneland, or if you've yet to do any of your outdoor activities, it looks like you'll have plenty of opportunities to do so. Today, maybe not so much, kind of an ugly day.
Well,
I think people are going to enjoy this forecast when they wake up this morning, other than today.
Once we get through this, right? And today would be a good day to sit down and work out a state budget, you know. You know, just saying. Right?
Yeah, no excuse the rest of the week,
There you go. You got it. All right, 5:49 is the time right now. In Indiana, a grandmother of a little boy who's had brain surgery was outraged when he was stood up by his friends on his birthday. But thanks to some total strangers, Gerald is getting a belated birthday celebration.
A UPS driver brought a dolly stacked with presents from all kinds of people: city councilmen, police officers, and even other kids. Gerald was asked what he wanted for his birthday, and if he could have anything, he said he wanted friends.
All right, the most important thing of all, certainly. Very good.
Now, coming up, you'll get the stories making news at this hour.
Also, we'll check traffic again, see how things are moving along. We have some health news, and our top stories are on the way here on WKYT This Morning. Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT This Morning. It's 5:53, bright and early here on your Monday. We hope you had a good weekend, ready to go with this new week.
I know, right? Let's take a look at some of the stories we're working on at this hour.
In Frankfort, lawmakers still have not agreed on a state two-year budget. House Democratic leaders said in a statement they will try to move the General Assembly's last day to Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Lawmakers say they do plan on meeting again tomorrow. If they do, that's it. The Constitution says that is the last day.
The 2016 presidential contenders continue to make their case to voters ahead of New York's critical primary next week.
With the possibility of a contested Republican convention looming, polls show Donald Trump expanding his lead over rivals Ted Cruz and John Kasich in the Empire State. After winning Wyoming's caucuses over the weekend, Democrat Bernie Sanders is shifting his focus away from Hillary Clinton's qualifications and back to the issues.
Topping your health headlines this morning, a new study suggests the Zika virus may now be linked to brain problems similar to multiple sclerosis.
Brazilian researchers report some Zika patients are demonstrating neurological issues with mobility, vision, memory, and cognitive skills. Doctors warn the virus may have different effects on the brain than previously known.
New data from California researchers on the link between marriage and cancer recovery suggests that white bachelors have a 24% higher mortality rate than other patients. Unmarried women also had a higher mortality rate than married women. Let's get a check this hour on today's traffic trouble spots with live drive traffic. And so far, looking at the map, all looks well. If you're about to head out the door this morning, there doesn't seem to be any issues right now. Time to check what's making news online this morning. Bill joins us now with what's happening on the net.
Well, on WKYT.com, Mike is tracking a day of showers, maybe some storms before we get some nice weather improvements over the next several days. Our forecast available to you anytime at WKYT.com, along with real-time observations. There appears to be, as we've been saying, a budget stalemate in Frankfort. Lawmakers met until around midnight. Then a leading senator said there will not be a budget passed before the session is required to end this week. So we'll see where all of that goes. Obviously looking for some clarity on that this morning. A letter this morning, it's cheaper to mail one. The price of a stamp dropped 2 cents over the weekend to 47 cents. It's the first price cut for the Postal Service since 1919. More security changes are coming to Rupp Arena. Kentucky.com reporting the arena is installing 30 new walk-through metal detectors that will be like those used at airports. The report says many concert promoters now require the stand-up detectors in their contracts. And as Keeneland is getting underway with the spring meet, the Herald Leader is looking back at a spring meet from 70 years ago. A picture showing how this long tradition has been going on, certainly here in the horse capital of the world. CBS This Morning is on the way at 7 with your eye opener, and of course we'll have local updates. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest anytime, WKYT.com.
Today really does look like a bumpy one as far as your active weather goes. Certainly better temperature-wise than where we were this weekend. Friday and Saturday, we saw temperatures hardly even get out of the mid to low 40s. We're well above that mark and pretty much close to normal as we get into this afternoon in the upper 60s. As far as your active weather goes, it's not going to be the prettiest day out there today. Starting off with some showers early this morning for northern Kentucky and getting a little noisy as we head into our afternoon today. Widespread wet weather gets going at around 2, 3 o'clock today, and then the thunderstorm chances get here as we head into the second half of your afternoon and into the evening hours. But this looks like the last run through for some active weather for us, because as we get into the next few days, things get a lot better. More sunshine and warm temperatures into the second half of the work week. Still a lot more news and weather coming up this morning. Stay with us.